welcome to the digital learning platform Sri Guru Sudhindra College, Bhatkar. Course Bcom second sem, subject Financial Accounting 2, topic Branch Accounts, Stock and Debtor System. In the previous part, we had covered the introduction on Stock and Debtor System. In this part, we will be solving a problem based on Stock and Debtors System. Take a note of the question. In this question, we are asked to prepare necessary accounts in the books of head office under stock and debtors system. The first account to be prepared, branch stock account. Debit side, first entry, to balance brought down. That is the opening stock value given in the question. The opening stock has been given at invoice price and it is recorded in the branch stock account at invoice price rupees 10,000. Next entry, 2 goods sent to branch. We have recorded it at invoice price of rupees 50,000. But you need to know that in the question, goods sent to branch have been given at cost price of rupees 40,000. So even if the value is given at cost price, we will have to record it at an invoice price. So we need to convert cost price to invoice price and record the value at invoice price. Next, to branch debtors account, that is returns from debtors. The customers have returned the goods to the branch. It is recorded on debit side 4,000. Next one, to branch adjustment account, that is surplus stock. In the question, we have been given that there is surplus of stock at the branch. Hence, the entry comes on debit side 500, that is invoice price of surplus stock. Credit side, first entry is buy cash account, that is cash sales made by the branch 27,000. Next we have buy branch debtors account, that is credit sales made by the branch 20,000. Next, buy goods sent to branch. On debit side also we had 2 goods sent to branch. Credit side again we have buy goods sent to branch, but it is goods returned by branch to the head office. On debit side, goods are sent to the branch. Credit side, goods are returned by branch to head office. Again, it is at invoice price 2,500. For closing this account, you find that debit side is more, having a total of 64,500. So the difference is transferred on credit side and return as by balance carried down 15,000. So this 15,000 represents the value of closing stock at invoice price. Next we move on to branch debtors account. The first entry on debit side, to balance brought down. It is the opening balance of debtors account 8,000. Next we have to branch stock account. It is the value of credit sales made by the branch. So here we had buy branch debtors, which is transferred to debtors account and return as to branch stock account 20,000. So it is the value of credit sales. On credit side we have buy cash account. It is the value or the cash which is received by the branch from its debtors. The debtors who had made credit sales have made the payment to the branch. So we record it as buy cash account 14,400. Next we have by branch expenses account. In the question we were given discount allowed. So discount allowed is an expense which is written as by branch expenses account 600. Next we have by branch stock account 4,000. It is the value of goods returned by debtors to the branch. So from this account it is transferred on branch debtors account by branch stock account 4,000. For closing this account, again we find that debit side is more, total is 28,000. So difference will be transferred on credit side and return as by balance carried down 9,000. Next we have branch expenses account. So here we will be recording all the expenses of the branch. First entry on debit side, to branch debtors account 600. That is the discount which was allowed to the customers is recorded over here as to branch debtors account 600. And next we have to cash account paid by head office, paid by branch. In the question we were given that expenses paid by head office, expenses paid by branch. So both these entries have been taken together over here under the heading to cash account. So payment made by head office 1000, payment made by branch 1400. Total payment made 2400. So the total expense of the branch comes to 3000, and this total expense of the branch is transferred to the branch adjustment account. So total expense from debit side is transferred and returned on credit side as by branch adjustment account 3000. Next we move on to branch adjustment account. In the first part of branch adjustment account, all the loading entries are made. First on debit side, to goods sent to branch, that is it is the loading on goods returned by the branch, it comes to 500. Next we have to stock reserve, it is the loading on closing stock 3000. Credit side we have buy stock reserve, that is loading on opening stock 2000. Next buy goods sent to branch, that is loading on goods sent 10,000. And buy branch stock account, that is loading on surplus stock 100. So basically to pass these entries you will have to look at the branch stock account. See here, to goods sent to branch which was there on debit side, the loading entry for goods sent to branch is coming on credit side, buy goods sent to branch 10,000. Again one more I will show you. So here we had closing stock on credit side 15,000. The loading entry for closing stock is coming on debit side, to stock reserve 3000. So they are basically going on the opposite sides. Opening stock and goods sent to branch was there on debit side, their loading entries are going on credit side. Again goods returned by branch and closing stock was there on credit side, so their loading entry is coming on debit side. Here we also had surplus stock of 500, so loading on this is also calculated and entry is made on credit side. So in the first part all the loading entries have been transferred, total comes to 12,100, and the difference is transferred on debit side, it is written as to gross profit carried down 8,600. This 8,600 amount is then brought down to the second part, by gross profit brought down 8,600. On the debit side of the second part of branch adjustment account, we debit the account with expenses, the total expenses of the branch. We had transferred the expenses to branch adjustment account, so this one will be debited to the branch adjustment account. To branch expenses 3000. To branch adjustment account over here, see surplus stock we had value written as 500, but when we had transferred it we have adjusted only 100, so there is balance of 400 remaining which is to be adjusted. So we record it on credit side, by branch stock account, that is cost price of surplus stock 400. The invoice price we had was 500, we calculated the loading 100, 500 minus 100 we get cost price of surplus stock 400. So for closing this account, credit side is more, total is 9,000. So difference is transferred on the debit side and we get net profit of rupees 6,000. Last account, goods sent to branch account. We have two entries from branch stock account. First one, on debit side, to branch stock account, that is goods returned by branch. The goods returned by branch was there on credit side of the stock account, so it has been transferred on debit side, 2,500. Again, one more entry from branch stock account was by branch stock account, goods sent to branch, which was on debit side, has now been transferred on credit side, 50,000. So these are the values which were present in branch stock account, 2,500 and 50,000, that is the invoice prices. Now we have to calculate loading on these items and make the entries for loading items. So loading on goods sent to branch will be coming on credit side and we will write it as by branch adjustment account 500, and loading for goods sent to branch from credit side, the loading will be recorded on debit side, to branch adjustment account 10,000, loading on goods sent. Here we find that our credit side is more, total comes to 50,500. So difference will be transferred to trading account, which is 38,000. Thank you.